Everyone, and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverde.
I'm Montel Williams, and today we're going to be taking you behind the mystery, learning more about an extremely rare condition.
And then we're going to be talking about something that's not very rare at all, and it happens to a lot of us when you start losing some hair.
Or it starts thinning, and what you need to know about Lyme disease.
You look great. The Balancing Act starts right now.
It's one of the rarest and most disabling genetic conditions known to medicine.
It occurs when bone forms in muscles, tendons, ligaments, and other connective tissues.
And there are no other known examples in medicine of a normal organ system turning into another.
So let's go behind the mystery.
Back when I was 5 years old, my mom was getting me ready for kindergarten, and she discovered a lump on the side of my neck. She took me to the local pediatrician. Diagnosis came back that I had cancer and that they gave me a prognosis of 6 months. My parents were quite stricken by that diagnosis, of course. Well, the 6 months came and went, and I didn't die. So my parents wanted to know if there might have been a wrong diagnosis. They took me to a cancer specialist in New York City, and he looked at my toes, and he said, "Don't worry, your daughter's not going to die, but she will live with some challenges in her life with a rare disease called FOP." Today, at 60 years old, the disease has affected almost every joint in my body except most of my fingers.
The Balancing Act met with Dr. Richard Keane of the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital in the UK to understand more about this disorder.
Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, as they commonly known as FOP. It's a condition affecting the soft tissues, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, and these can then change and develop into hard, bony swellings. They often will start on the back or the neck region, sometimes on the scalp, the shoulders, the elbows and the wrists, the hips, the knees, the feet. And one of the most common problems, which can be very devastating for patients, will be it can also affect the jaw, so they're unable to open their jaw fully. So essentially, with time, an individual will actually develop almost a second external skeleton.
FOP is one of the rarest, most disabling genetic conditions known in medicine and affects approximately 1 in 750,000 to 1 in 2 million births. There are 800 confirmed cases across the globe and 285 known cases in the United States.
Children with FOP can present with swellings. The swellings can be red, swollen, they can be painful to touch, so many times these swellings are associated with restriction in movement. The standout symptoms are the short big toe. It can be curved or malformed, and it's the early representation of the condition.
Despite the progression of her disease, Nancy had a fairly normal childhood and lots of family support. Her parents did their best to research how FOP would affect her, but little was still known.
The disease did progress some in my elementary school years, mostly in my upper back and my shoulders. It was suggested to my mom that I start physical therapy and occupational therapy to enhance the mobility that I did have. I now reflect back and say they gave me much more than just the physical aspect of learning to live with the disease, but they gave me tenacity to move on even though I would have more limitations in my life. We always tried to find the positive in things.
At this time, there is no treatment for FOP, and the disorder only continues to get worse as the body continues to form new bone.
New bone growth occurs as a result of a flare-up or following trauma.
So there are consequences to missing the diagnosis of FOP. One of the main ones might be that because people think it's cancer, they think it needs a biopsy. By doing the biopsy, you're going to cause damage to the muscle tissue, and that in itself can make the swelling become even more of a bad flare-up, To try and alleviate the misdiagnosis, we're trying to raise awareness of FOP amongst clinicians. The FOP should be considered before you proceed with any sort of surgical biopsy intervention.
After Nancy was diagnosed, her mother agreed to have her serve as a case study at Yale Medical School. For the next 12 years, Yale was a home away from home of sorts.
During a flare-up in my left arm, they injected steroids right into the muscle. Along with the surgery they tried on my right elbow, and it released the tendons, and it was fabulous. I had wonderful motion in my arm, and then 6 months later, my arm flared up, and it contracted more than it was prior to the surgery.
Upon graduating high school, Nancy worked at a flower shop, then went to college to become a bookkeeper. When her hips fused, she transitioned to a wheelchair and worked as a computer programmer until 1985, when a tragic bus accident occurred.
Started another flare-up in my jaw, which was extremely painful. It locked my jaw permanently. That created another new normal that I had to face as a person not being able to eat and brush my teeth. It became very apparent to me and my family that I had to quit my work and retire because of the pain that I was involved.
Fate stepped in 1988. Nancy met Andy Sando after her wheelchair company told her they had found someone who had the same disorder as her.
It was just a very wonderful experience to be with somebody who knew exactly what FOP felt like. We were wanting to get married quickly, and by the end of 1988, we were married. It didn't seem like it was anything but normal to us because we had each other. And we lived blissfully for 14 years until his untimely death. When he was 44.
When Andy passed away, he was the first FOP patient to donate stem cells, which allowed researchers unprecedented access to information about the disease.
A year after his death, they announced that they found the exact gene that's responsible for FOP. Andy may be gone in this world, but he lives every day in the lab.
In 2006, doctors Fred Kaplan and Eileen Shore at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine and their international collaborators pinpointed a single gene mutation, one letter out of 6 billion in the human genome, that causes the runaway bone growth of FOP.
This was a key milestone in basically our understanding of FOP. We were able to identify that it was caused by a single gene mutation in the ACVR1 gene. By understanding the genetic cause, we've been able to much understand then why this happens and therefore hopefully develop new treatments.
Curos Therapeutics, a leading biotech company, is committed to developing therapeutic treatments for rare muscular disorders.
And they are currently focused on inhibiting ALK2, the genetic cause of FOP.
We started the IFOPA in 1987 with 11 members. We were hoping it would grow as we learned more about the disease. Today, the IFOPA, or International Association, has approximately 800 members from around the world. My goal and purpose was to help one another navigate through life with our challenges and educate others that even though this disease is very debilitating, we still can contribute to the world and make it a better place for those around us.
I think we're on the cusp of sort of developing new, novel treatments that really offer hope and potential for many of these patients who have one of the most severe diseases that I currently look after.
My ultimate hope is that there could be a possible treatment and eventually a cure for FOP. My life is a lot different than most, but I live it to the fullest.
For more information on FOP, visit kirostx.com or ifopa.org.
And of course, you can always visit our website, thebalancingact.com, for more information.
We'll be right back. just an issue for men. Up to 40% of women experience some type of hair loss or alopecia. Everything from hair thinning to bald spots, and it can severely affect a woman's emotional well-being and quality of life. Well, today we're discussing the cause, the symptoms, preventative measures, scalp health, diet, and much more. Hair care expert Glennis Beal is joining us virtually, and Brittany Kosalova, who has been experiencing hair loss on and off for about 10 years. She's here with me in the studio. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no,
Hi
thanks
there.
for being
Thank
here.
you.
Hey, Glennis, I'm going to start with you, Glennis. I was reading here, you've been in the industry for over 20 years, so you know a lot about it. Talk about just how, I think the word unsettling is perfect here, how unsettling hair thinning or loss can be for a woman.
You're absolutely right. I mean, people think that it's just focusing on, how the woman is looking on the outside, but it truly does affect the way that she feels on the inside. And, this is an issue that most women are going to experience at some point in their life. And for different reasons, some of it is genetic, but stress and health issues and medications, even nutrition and diet, and of course the hormonal changes can affect your hair and thinning and hair loss. But many women won't ask, they won't bring it up. So they'll ask you for things like, products to volumize their hair or things to give them more body. So as a stylist, you need to approach them with empathy and understanding and have a full consultation with them so you can get to the root of that problem and see what's going on with them so that you can offer them a personalized solution.
Brittany, let me bring you in. You had mentioned to me a few minutes before we started that your hair loss started about, 10 years ago?
It was about 10 years
What
ago,
happened?
and I remember washing my hair in the shower one day, and I had huge clumps of hair starting to come out. I attributed it to some medication that I was on. I did my best to try and remedy the situation with different scalp treatments and, shampoos and things like that. It worked for a little bit, and things kind of evened out, and I was okay. But about 4 years ago, it came back with a vengeance. It really started not only coming out in the shower, but I could really start to see it thinning.
So what can we do, Glennis?
Well, we need to start thinking about that scalp hair as the same as our facial skin. It is an extension of our facial skin. So we need to treat it as such. We need to treat that scalp and give it nourishment so that we can grow stronger, healthier hair. So we've got to treat that foundation. And Nioxin was the first in-salon brand to propose a skincare regimen for the scalp. That 3-step that we're normally used to doing for our face, we cleanse, we hydrate, and we tone our face. Well, that's the same thing that we're going to need to do with our scalp. We want to cleanse, condition, and treat.
And is that what you've been doing, Brittany, with these products here?
I have. I've used it for the last 2 months, and I've used the cleanser shampoo, the scalp therapy conditioner, and the scalp and hair treatment. And what's great is that they have a color-safe one, not natural. So we need to have something that is good for color safe. And over the last couple of months, I've noticed a huge difference.
What?
It is barely noticeable.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Really, within one time of using it, I felt like my hair was softer
Oh my
and
gosh.
smoother, and it felt like it finally had what it needed to thrive.
I love this. And Glennis, I was reading here, and I really like our viewers to hear this, that the founder of this line, Eva Graham, she wanted to make people feel good, and she wanted to basically inspire them by her own experience.
Absolutely. It was her mission to give women and men an opportunity to keep their hair. She believed that beautiful hair could only thrive in a solid foundation. And since the scalp is the extension of that face hair, the scalp skin is that foundation. So by treating it with a personal regimen, that system kit and other supporting and styling products, and creating that personal solution, we can help at whatever stage you may be at in your thinning hair.
For a woman out there who maybe is feeling like you did and just emotionally drained because of her hair, what would you say?
You're not alone,
Absolutely.
and ask for help. I think those are the two biggest things.
Yes.
As soon as you realize that other people are experiencing the same thing and that there is a solution that is easy and you could just fit it right into your routine and see real results, it really can make you feel so much better.
Glennis, for our viewers who'd like more information, where can they go to find the products and even just learn more about Nioxin?
You can find Nioxin in fine salons. You can find it at Ulta and on Amazon. And to get more information, you can go to nioxin.com and learn about the history and the innovation and new technology that we have coming in Nioxin line.
Great stuff. Thank you, Glennis, so much. Be safe, and thanks for coming in to give us this great interview. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Gorgeous as you are. And of course, if you'd like more information, you can always just go to our website, and that's thebalancingact.com. Lyme disease, it's the fastest growing bacterial infection in the U.S. And Montel, listen to this. It affects almost 400,000 people every year.
That's crazy.
And here's more crazy stuff. 90% of cases are misdiagnosed.
And early detection and treatment can really help to resolve the symptoms and prevent its progression. And what's really crazy is the fact that we're living in a time of COVID, but you got 400,000 cases of Lyme.
Exactly.
Yes.
Here with more on the disease, its transmission and testing is Dr. Roxanne Carforo, who is board certified in anti-aging and functional medicine.
Thanks a lot, Doctor, for joining us today.
So, Doctor, let's talk about just the disease as a whole. Most of us realize it's caused by a tick bite, but what is it and where is it most prevalent?
Yes. So it is most prevalent in the Northeast coast. However, it is seen in Florida. It's seen in all 50 states. So Lyme disease is a bacterial infection transmitted to the human body by a tick bite. The tick contains bacteria, many bacteria. And when it bites you, it goes into your body and then causes you to be very ill. Early detection is key because it could be eradicated immediately.
That's absolutely insane. And if someone suspects that they may have been bitten by a tick or have a tick-borne illness, what are some of the signs that they can look for, some of the symptoms? Every tick doesn't bite you and stick on your body. A tick can bite you and move on. Isn't that correct, Doc?
That is correct, Montel. That's all you need is the bite. And then it's gone. And most people don't even know they were bitten. Some people think it was a mosquito bite. So the symptoms, early symptoms are fever, chills, muscle aches, joint aches, similar to the flu. So you have similar symptoms to other illnesses out there, even strep. Some people get swollen glands and they're misdiagnosed as a strep infection. So yes, you can get a rash. 80% of the people get a typical bullseye rash, which is erythema migrans, but 20% do not get that. And those are the people that we worry about that go a long time without diagnosis of Lyme.
That's why it's so imperative to get testing, and there's lots of advancements. I think here the key, the two things are get it quick, and hopefully it's a quick test, and get the correct diagnosis fast.
Oh yes, we have that quick test in our office. It's called Sophia 2. It is a simple, quick on-site test. We stick your finger, whole blood test. Within 3 minutes, you have the results of whether you have Lyme or not, and you don't have to wait a week for your blood test results. We get it right there so we can treat you right away. It will decrease your anxiety of waiting for this test to come back.
So the bottom line is, if you suspect that you may have been exposed to a tick bite, talk to your doctor as soon as possible, and they can make the proper diagnosis and give you the proper test. And again, here's one right here that's within minutes you'll get the results.
Yes, within minutes in the office. You do not have to wait. You do not have to go to a blood lab and feel uncomfortable. It's done right in your doctor's office. The results given almost immediately.
And obviously, doctor, then get the treatment you need quickly to take care of the problem.
Yes, no delays in treatment, and that is key. Early diagnosis, early detection, early treatment.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for being with us. And the kit is available right now for purchase right now at any major medical distributor, such as McKesson or Henry Schein.
And for any healthcare professionals interested in getting a sample, Quidel has sample kits available upon request. If you go on sophia2lyme.com, click on Request Sample button, and that's also the best website for information seen here today.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for being with us. And you can always get more information if you want at our website, thebalancingact.com. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back right after this. As always, thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Remember to head to our Facebook page and our website and follow us on Twitter.
And you know what? Be safe. Make sure you do what you have to do, and that's join us on the next Balancing Act.